A new report paints a pretty bad picture for people in their golden years in our state. The problem? Seniors don't have enough money saved up. In this 4 Investigates alert, we tell you about it and what you can do to prevent it. After spending her life teaching, Louise Milholland is enjoying retirement. She spends a lot of time at the Palo Duro Senior Center in Albuquerque. She loves to participate in things like this doggy fashion show.
When you're retired, you don't have the funds to do a lot of things.
She also volunteers at the Senior Center Library.
The secret of retirement is don't sit on your tush. Get with it. Move. Do stuff. Enjoy life.
But even now, she's thinking about making a change.
Right now, I'm considering going back to work.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, New Mexico is among the top 3 states in the country for seniors living in poverty, with about 12% living in poverty here. That's higher than the national average at 9%. UNM researchers say that 2 out of 3 private sector workers have no money saved for retirement, and 80% have less than $10,000 saved.
We see a tip of an iceberg of people who really just don't have the resources, whether it's from not saving enough or less than they expected from Social Security or a pension, to really have a comfortable retirement.
Clarissa Krinsky with ClariFinancial says everywhere senior citizens are working longer. KOB highlighted how the Labor Department says we live in a time when seniors are competing for jobs once stacked with teenagers, like fast food joints.
All of these systems were sort of created when we lived to be in our 70s, and now that we live to be 90, a lot of folks are going to want to or need to work later in their life. And for a lot of people, it's great. It keeps them healthy and active. It's their social life. So it's not necessarily a bad thing.
So how much money is it going to take to retire? Well, that depends.
Someone who wants to spend $20,000 a year in retirement has to have a lot less saved than someone who wants to spend $100,000 in retirement.
Generally, the rule of thumb is to save 15% of your income for retirement. Well, last month, a professor from an Ivy League school suggested that millennials save 40% of their income. The professor cites inflation and low returns on investment predictions.
One thing I would tell people is you have to kind of get rid of the idea of your retirement age. You're able to retire when you can afford to retire, and that really is kind of irrespective of how old you are.
For Louise, she hasn't decided if she'll go back to teaching, but it is still an option. However, her word of advice for younger folks?
Save as much money as you can, because you're going to need every dime of it.
All right, so here are the big takeaways. If you're older and you don't have enough money, Krinsky says work until you're no longer able to health-wise. And if you're still a ways from retiring, she says invest in an IRA or a Roth IRA if your work doesn't have a 401k retirement plan. Also, the biggest thing here is live below your means.